Hi, I'm Ruth Klein, and I want to introduce you to a wonderful, wonderful program. It's called Brand and Pitch. And what that means is branding your book and then pitching it to agents and publishers. So I want to start off by saying a couple of things that includes the anatomy of a book proposal. First of all, you've got to write the introduction. And even before I go to the introduction, I really want to share with you that if you're willing and wanting to write a book, the most important thing you can do is not write the book first, but write the book proposal. Why? Because if you want to get a publisher and you want an advance, you need to be able to show them basically a business plan, everything that is included in what your book's going to be. What's so great about that also, even if you decide to self-publish, you still want to have a book proposal. Why? Because it helps you brand, organize, and focus what your book's going to be about. So from that vantage point, I'm going to start with the introduction. The introduction of your book and your book proposal is something that talks to the publisher. Remember, when you actually write your book, the people that are going to be reading it, that's your end user. But when you write your book proposal, the people that are going to be reading that is an agent, a literary agent, and an acquisitions editor at a publishing house. So you want to be able to speak to them. Number one, a book is a business for a publisher. So they're going to, chances are, they're going to want to publish your book if they can see that the risk is worth the money. So in other words, they're willing to put $5,000, $10,000, $30,000 in an advance if they believe that they'll get ROI, return on investment. It makes sense, and it is a business, bottom line. And whether you self-publish or get a publisher, you still want to have a profit. You want to get your product out there, you want to get your book out there, but there's also the business part of it as well. So the book proposal gives you the opportunity to tell the publisher and the agent what your book is about. So here's an idea of how you can start. What is the biggest, what's the problem? What's the pain? How does it hurt other people in terms of, let's say, I'll use myself as an example. I have a de-stress book out. So it's pretty obvious that I can get statistics on how paramount stress is in everyday lives today. Everything from parents to students, even young children. Basically everyone. And so that's the problem, that's the pain. And I'm going to bring in some statistics to show and to demonstrate and to prove to the agent and the publisher that this is a huge problem. And why I want it to be a huge problem? Because they're going to interpret that huge problem as, oh boy, there's a huge population out there that's going to be able to purchase a de-stress book. And also in that introduction, you want to talk about why is it that I, Ruth Klein, am the person to write this de-stress book. Now, are there other de-stress books out there? Of course. Are there wonderful de-stress books out there? Of course. Is mine different? Absolutely. Because it's coming from what's called my voice. It's coming from my perception, my experiences with my clients, my education. It's everything. So I'm going to brand it so that it has my voice. In fact, friends that read my books often say, I could hear you throughout the book, Ruth, and that's what you want. So in that introduction, you probably want maybe 3-4 pages maximum, what the pain is, what the problem is, and why you're the person that can solve that problem. And that basically is what goes into the introduction. Next, we'll be talking about another area of the anatomy of the book proposal. So stay tuned. I'm Ruth Klein, and I'm sharing the Brand and Pitch book proposal, the anatomy of a book proposal program with you. Stay tuned for the next session.